only took one and not the other 5.
I know, right?
Hello, guys. Welcome. It's Dataslate time. It's Saturday. We don't normally do shows on a Saturday. Games Workshop don't normally put out rules on a Friday, but they did. So that's the world that we're living in. We can talk about that in a moment. Obviously, that's an interesting new precedent to be set. But we thought we'd get into the weeds on some of the changes. There's a bunch of changes, lots of different armies, lots of silly, correct or not correct things to be said, and wild guesses to be made and speculation to be made. So I brought some of the best speculators I could find to go and get involved on that business. I think you, the chat, will obviously have tons of ideas here about what's good, what's bad, what's got changed, what's got no. So I want you to shout us out, let us know what you're up to, and let us know any of your strong hot takes. Obviously, we are incredibly mercenary guys, so in the event that anything is super chatted, we'll talk about that army immediately and with enthusiasm, right? Tenorest in the chat says, "You guys know these things cut in like mid-sentence, right?" Yeah, we do, and we just roll with it. It's how we it's how we style. It's always been our thing. But yeah, great to have so many faces in. I can see Alex Fowler's in, Matt Riley's in, Tenorest in, Stephen Neal's in, Mark Andrew Calvert's in. Amazing. Keep shouting things out as we go. I will briefly introduce our cast players. One of them's a guest. He's not been on before. It's the lovely Charles Gold of, is it Top of the Tabletop Minis, Charles? Is that
Top of the Table Minis.
Top of the Table Minis. There we go.
Didn't give that away. It is another.
Top of the table to you. Lovely. Charles, do you want to tell people about who you are?
Yeah, I'm Charles. I run Top of the Table Minis. I play for DRG and Team Island. So I do regular streams on my own channel. Sometimes I even opine about the meta and stuff, and sometimes, even more rarely, I'm right. More often than not, it's complete and utter rubbish. But I like to have some fun. So thank you for having me on. Hopefully I will be great at the knee-jerk reactions.
I think you will be. I think you're a man I can rely on for a hot take. And then the other exciting news is obviously you've been working on the UKTC TV stream for a little while.
I have, yes. I have.
So you and I are going to be in cahoots.
Cahoots.
Firmly in cahoots.
Yes.
Doing all sorts of shenanigans going forward as well with UKTC TV. So you can expect a bit more of the Tom Charles double act in the future. Okay. I'm also joined tonight by a couple of my absolute stalwarts, the guys I'd plug into my company of heroes and send out to battle. Ed Watts is here. Ed, how are you?
I am fantastic. I'm not just working up for a night shift. I am here.
No, I can tell that.
Ready.
I can tell that. Ed went from 0 to 60 in about 30 seconds after logging into the chat, and he's ready now. He's good.
Yeah, I'm logged in now. Mentally logged in. I'm there. I've had my glass of water.
Do you want to summarise the Dataslate in one sentence, then, whilst we're getting the updates running?
The end times, I suppose, is what we're going to say. It's time. It's time. We have it. We have it every edition where we start to go towards the end. We get the last few codexes out, and we start to go into weird and wacky shit. And that's kind of where we're at now. I think. Well, to be fair, a few factions have been absolutely mugged. Some unjustifiably. Some have been absolutely. Some have been glowed up a lot. Also, kind of unjustifiably. To be honest, as usual, there's a faction there that was already very good that has had a lot of buffs. So we're gonna go on to that a little bit. But I think overall the Dataslate ends interesting, but we shall. The end times,
I like that.
The end times.
It's got a Ragnarokian dimension. I think that's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I didn't copy it from Games Workshop at all. I promise.
Fantastic, great. I'm also joined tonight by Ben.
Hello.
Lovely Ben Pierce, who is just straight up 6++ now. I don't need to pretend he's something else. I don't need to flirt with him and give him a half status. He's just firmly in cahoots with the team. In cahoots is my word of the evening. Ben, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I mean, I've had a really relaxed, do nothing day. We have rotted. Me and the dogs have watched films. This is Cookie.
Hello, hi, Cookie. What films did you watch with Cookie?
What did we watch? Oh, we watched Thunderbolts, and then we watched.
Oh yeah.
Then we watched, what's it called? The Roadhouse, the new one.
Oh, that did look fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was good. We liked that. We enjoyed that. So we had a nice relaxing day, and now I'm ready to chat some shit about Dataslate.
Hot takes. That's it. I say the format's pretty simple. I only want people to say things that will either provoke agreement or ire or rage. I don't want any kind of sort of reasoned, balanced analysis. Maybe a tiny bit once we've done the take, if people need to justify themselves. But I just want to start. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to invite people to start throwing takes. Again, you, the chat, have the power to send us in particular directions with super chat or with a particularly well-worded question that might get us onto different topics as well. I'm going to start. Charles is the guest, so I'm going to let Charles have the first take of this Dataslate. Charles, chuck it at us.
How hot am I starting? Are we going Corma or are we going Madras? Or are we
honestly, whatever you think best. I trust your judgment.
Bolty.
Average Bolty.
Okay, fairly. Chaos Knights did not get anywhere near hit hard enough. They did not get at all.
Okay.
Their change is just...
And so Chaos Knights basically got some love taps, right? What were the love taps?
Their main change was when they surge now for the Feel No Pain. It's a Feel No Pain or an Invuln, which is... It's fine. It means that in combat they can't get a 5-up Invuln and a 6-up Feel No Pain. The problem is in shooting... They already have a 5-up Invuln, so they don't feel no pain, and they take it. Mild. And we know that Knights with a 6-up feel no pain is annoying. So, and I assume because Infernal Lance didn't get hit, still such a strong attachment, still has plenty of movement, plenty of damage. More egregiously, there's no red on that data slate on the field manual for them. There's no red, there's no green. They got away scot-free with one minor tweak to that. And I think there's one tweak to Lords of Dread as well. They can only stick it at the start of their command phase now, instead of every stage, which is that's okay. But like Infernal Lance is still just criminally overtuned, I think.
It feels like the slate was sort of catching up, right? Lords of Dread we've not actually seen as much of. That cops a nerf. The Abominant, not actually seen quite as many of them either. That cops a nerf. And then they haven't managed to find and destroy whatever factory is making these double cannon despoilers, right? Yeah. Wherever they're making the despoilers with 2 gun arms, they need to find that place and shut it down. That's the only way we're going to stop Chaos Knights. But I feel like, as you say, they're cruising through pretty intact here, aren't they? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to sling it over to Ed. Ed, hit me with your finest take, sir.
I think Space Wolves were mugged completely unjustifiably. Genuinely, hand on heart, completely unjustifiably. There was one unit in that entire setup that I would be like, fair for like a 10-point increase or something like that. That'd be the Wolfguard Terminators. Because they were pretty undercosted for 170 points and 4 wounds at -1 to wound. But like, I think the biggest problem with the Space Wolves and the reason why they were so strong was the Iron Priest spamming extra shots on ballistas and lancers and stuff like that, right? That was one of the reasons why they were so strong. That is gone. Like they fixed that pretty sharpish. Like it was only just in for WTC, for example. And I feel like they're suffering from them doing well at WTC, but also like they've already been nerfed. Like Space Wolves, like Thunderwolves, for example, they were 100 points for 3.
Yeah,
and they've now gone up to 115 for 3.
Yeah,
that is a massive points hike. Like people who want to run like 6 or like or like 9, let's say. Like 6 and 2 to 3, like I was at the 6 Glass Hammer at the 6++ GT.
Yeah,
that's not a crazy list.
No.
Like they're not insane. Like they're not they're damage 3 on the charge, but they have to move around walls. They're not the fastest anymore. Let's take them specifically in Stormlands, and I think that was just really unjustified personally. Yep. And then Arjok get copping a little nerf, maybe I can see, but also just doesn't. None of it felt like necessary. It just felt like a kick to the teeth that didn't need to happen. Because what Space Wolves have won GTs? I can't think of any. They did well at WTC on the basis of the Iron Priest data sheet doing well. But apart from that, it's been overall relatively average, I think. So I just think that the entire set of nerfs there was completely unjustified. And the one unit that I expect a little 10-point hike on, there's 170 for Wolfguard Terminators is a bit criminal. But they just didn't put them up. Put everything else up around them, like Ragnar, 20 Blood Claws, Thunderwolf Cavalry. It all felt a little bit unreasonable on my point of view. And it's not just because I've painted 2,000 points for them. It totally is. But I think that's one of my takes on the data slate so far. Without getting into anything too spicy, that was just a bit, unreasonable.
Yeah. I think Space Wolves was an interesting one, because as you say, they sort of crested the wave just at WTC. They were fine at WTC, but it wasn't like, oh my god, nothing can beat this, they're beating everything. They did a great job in their role in a matrix across WTC, but it wasn't an army that was so egregious that no one could handle it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And certainly from the Marine players I'm talking to, their interest has already moved on beyond Space Wolves in recent times. Templars have people's excitement. Indeed. There's various other things people are looking at. So it's probably potentially a little bit preemptive to do some nerfs to the poor old Space Wolves.
Yeah, it just didn't feel deserved. as an example, there's armies that CK didn't have any red, did they? They just had rules changes.
No.
Space Wolves did.
Yeah, I think Space Wolves just paying for the sins of the past with Thunderwolf.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. I think they've been doing well in America, right? I think there's been a few decent results coming out of America with them.
Decent though, right? Like that's the thing. Like they're
America.
still. Yeah, in America, especially. America. But I think that the general idea, the general reason I have such a big issue with these nerfs is because will they make a massive difference to the Space Wolf mains? Probably not. They adapt and they overcome and all that sort of thing. But I'm not saying I am a Space Wolf main, by the way, just to be very.
But Ed, you are a Space Wolf.
But I am a
over
Space
2,000
Wolf
points.
But effectively, these nerfs felt preemptive. They felt a little bit short-sighted, and they didn't need to happen. Is my opinion.
Yeah.
Because also Blood Claws, they don't do any damage. Like Ragnar unit does, but they made that package go up 25 points. Why?
Oh, no.
Why? What days are they ruining? Like some random Admech player. Like Jesus.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's my first.
That's a solid take, man. For mine, I did tell him I was going to be doing a toaster, so I'll do a toaster 1,000 Suns. And I'm very glad 1,000 Suns got kicked firmly in the nuts. I don't know if they fully deserve the extent of the changes that they've got.
Yes,
but in my head they do, because I've had to play Alex a lot, and I'm just going to drink to that and be very happy that it happened.
I posted a very sympathetic video in the Team England Discord. It wasn't just me laughing down the camera. It wasn't all that. It was very, very sympathetic. But no, I think these ones have definitely copped a very decent nerf, and I'm very happy about that.
They have. There's a little compensatory buff to the little Scarab Cults. But
and the Sekitar. And the Sekitar robots.
And the Sekitar robots. Yeah,
everyone loves them. But
everyone loves them.
Do you know what? Honestly, I think it's completely justified. However, the one thing I was annoyed about was the fact that they nerfed Warp Meld before
You've never forgiven them for that.
I've never forgiven them for that. It's in the same Dataslate, I was looking at Khorne Demonkin. I was looking at the Warp Meld Task... not Warp Meld Task Force. Warp Meld. And there's another detachment I can't remember that they nerfed at the same time. The Rune Priest in Space Wolves. And they nerfed all of them in that Dataslate.
Somebody at GW hates it.
Brother, what are you doing?
Yeah,
yes, I'm totally weaponizing the -1 to wound, but leave me alone.
I'm not saying that if you pay close attention to what Ed runs, you will find balance problems. But I think it's definitely the case that a lot of the ground he goes to gets immediately scorched down.
Yeah, it's always the weird.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was the weird and wonderful there that took the hit, right?
Oh yeah.
So but 1,000 Suns, I guess we'll see. But they another one where actually they didn't have the greatest WTC. Outside the hands of the genuine experts, they've not felt like they're pulling up trees in quite the same way. I think in the hands of people who are really repped on them, they have been devastating and they're very frustrating to play against, particularly on WTC terrain. But it's a big hit to them. It's a big old hit to them.
It is.
Which I'm delighted about. Cheers, Alex wants to. Anyway, pinging it back to Charles for his next take.
We're going spicy now. Can I go spicy?
You can get spicy, mate. Yeah, you can get spicy. We're not here all day.
I think the IK. I'm going to keep on the Knights theme because I've always been a long-time Knights player and enjoy it.
You love Knights.
Yep.
Yep.
The IK nerfs were a lot. I'm not saying they're undeserved because I still think the IK book is very strong.
Yep.
I just don't think they were ever the problem that people were making them out to be. And we've all seen that photo of where can they get to turn one.
Thanks, Mike Duff, for drawing that, by the way.
Yep.
That was awesome.
My problem with that is you can't do that if your opponent has. So cover your ears, Drukhari players, scout and infiltrate. You can't do that if they scout and infiltrate if you don't take that, and then you have to gamble on winning the roll-off and all the rest of it. The second point being just take the reroll and do it turn 2.
I agree.
I think for middle tables, they were going to be an absolute menace. So that range is great for the mid tables. The points hikes on the Sarastas bodies were probably justified. They were way too undercosted. Mm-hmm. The changes to the actual main knights is fine, but I still think in experienced players' hands, there's going to be a problem. But that's always true with the nature of towering and that. I think the nerfs were killing a problem that wasn't really a problem from my point of view. I never had, and I played a few games into them, I never had a problem dealing with that threat turn 1 because give me 3 knights turn 1, I'll kill 2 of them. my armies.
It did feel like it was a very egregious push play, and it would depend a bit on the terrain you're on and everything else. I think UKTC
you have to
was
give, like,
a bit worried
for it to work, and like if the opponent just goes, all right, we'll play the coin flip game. I'm putting all my guns on the line. If you don't go first, this game's over. One way or the other. Have some fun with it.
Yeah, and I always think with any nerfs to a thing before it's actually out, even in the wild, you take that risk, and we'll see with it does feel. I think probably if Knights hadn't just had the few months they've had, we wouldn't have seen that happen. But because they have, there's a sense of we'll be seen to have failed if we let them have another Reign of Terror immediately straight out the gate. So they've kind of just kneecapped them basically. That's very fair. That's very, 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 very fair indeed. Ben, it's your turn, mate.
Okay.
Drop a take on me.
Let's talk elves.
Okay.
Let's talk some elves. Fire dragons are still a thing. How?
Yeah.
How?
Yes.
I know myself and you, Tom, have been playing it a lot recently.
I used 20 of them the other weekend, mate, and they felt fair and balanced.
Yeah, completely fair and balanced.
So
like that list is nuts. So obviously we got.
I think I beat Imperial Knights 96-23. It was good. Good time.
You just fall over, right? Yeah.
You're just like, you die now, son.
Yeah, out of my board. So I mean, what the 30 Hawk lists? They've gone up 60-70 points, depending on if you had the Corsairs in there. Oh no! You drop a unit of Corsairs. Sure, here's still 30 Hawks. Cool.
Yes.
The other one, interestingly, they got buffs. Why has Azaman and his Dire Avengers gone down in points?
Ed's favourite package.
That guy is great. He's so good.
He's insane.
He's so insane.
It's cracked.
I am on your wave of thinking there, Ed. He is ridiculous.
He's very
good.
I saw this coming.
People used to say that Eldar got treated favourably, and I used to occasionally. Every now and again, I'd push back, and then I've observed this edition. I'm just like,
Edge just painted 2,000 points of Dire Avengers, so he's happy.
So, the fun thing is, my theory towards Azaman is everyone was always on the fence of whether he's too good or not, or not whether he's good enough to take or not, right? Yeah. Now, if he comes down 10 points, and he's clearly good enough and everyone takes him, then he was always good enough at 135. He was always good enough at 135. Just take the Rangers instead of Corsairs here and there, but like I think
problem. You can take an S plus unit instead of an S unit, and that's the Eldar book.
Like, effectively, you swap some pieces around in your because UKTC, you're not going to see 30 Hawks anyway. You're just not going to, because you don't have the same lanes of movement that you can really weaponize.
It's a flat buff to Eldar on UKTC because they weren't using the 10 man.
Look, my 5-man swooping Hawk squads are the same. Okay, my Dire Avengers are the same. Okay, my Corsairs have gone up 5. Okay. But Azaman's come down, so my list actually gained 5 points. So I'm like, that's hilarious. I'm not going to use the 5 points. I might get some upgrade some Rangers to a Corsair, something just to be spicy. Oh no, I can't, because I have 10 points. They've seen me through my plan. That's why they did it. I understand. But I think that they've made the adjustment. But I think Eldar are very cool.
I think played the teams event the other day, and that was like my 2nd through 6th games of it, and it was easily the strongest thing I'd played in the edition in certain matchups and situations. Right, it's just games where it's like there's nothing you can do. You're gonna die.
Exactly.
And there's exactly. You misdeployed, you die. Like, they're watching that, like, trying to get to 50 points. Like, you're not getting to 50 points, kid. It's done. It's done. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it was done. That whole bit at the beginning where I sort of pretended I was going to send or not send, and I was always going to send. That whole bit, you were dead as soon as that started happening. Like, it was over. But it's like, my worry, to be honest, Ben, is what are they testing or playing that is coming through in this slate that they think Eldar are fine. And we'll talk about Admech in a bit. But I reckon it might be Admech, because they must have in their heads there's a few things that will comfortably twat Eldar, which means we're not that worried. And the question becomes, what are those things?
Well, one of them is GSC, and that got...
Because, GSC, yeah. I mean, it's Ed's take. Maybe Ed, you can cover GSC if you want, Ed, or I'll take GSC.
Oh, I'm good. I'll leave that. What is a GSC? Isn't it just a
No one really knows. It's an army that melts. Anyway, you go on, Ed. You riff.
So basically, the next one. We're not. Do you want to cover Admech now, or should you say that's
Let's
the last?
do it. Let's drop the Admech bomb. Let's go.
Okay. So we've mentioned the phrase Admech, and as everyone knows, I am a renowned Admech main.
Admech main.
All the AdMech mains out there are aware of my name as the great AdMech main out. They're not.
Fell
But anyway,
aside.
I use them like at 2 events. But yeah, basically, the AdMech are basically just have a sea of buffs. So the first of all, there's some data sheet changes. So Ruststalkers now have a damage 2 profile, which is obviously very good with 3 attacks. And they've had Call has also had another rewrite. So the rewrite for Call has basically been like Oath of Moment. So got Oath of Moment back, but he has had a points hike for that. Balastari, the like last chickens, they've got Twin Link now for a 5-point increase. Oh no. I think you can deal with that. Other stuff that's new. The Infiltrators now electric and actually have AP on their like taser goad things.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Yes,
this is where things get quite silly. So,
oh no.
Effectively, you've got about 2 or 3 like different combos now, right? So one of the big problems with that mech before, guys, was the fact that you couldn't really do damage unless you're skewing into the tank build and the chickens, and even then, it's swingy damage at points, and if it has a turn where it whiffs and it doesn't do enough damage, you generally speaking just want more stuff. That's why I always used to run the Skitarii spam, just run at people with like 100 toughness. Yeah, 100 toughness for 2 wound bodies with stealth. That was the general theory, and it worked. It worked quite well. But the one issue, but now they can kill you. That is a big, big issue, like massive issue. Like before, it was just sort of like, it's fine. It's just AdMech. They'll just throw some AP attack.
So like they block you in, you never get out, and also you die
and they kill you. Like they kill you over the attrition game and move block you at the same time. I don't know if any of you have ever been alpha struck by 30 infiltrators and 30 rust stalkers on Search and Destroy, but it's a thing. Like, like for the sake of 140 points, when you're stat checking them anyway, or like whatever you want to do, you could literally just line for like 10 infiltrators in the middle of the board. Just be like, right, okay, if I go first, you're screwed. It's like the Knight theory of first drop, first turn. I think AdMech are way more egregious for this. So if they if they get first drop and first turn, and you are an infantry / tank based army without fly, you are cooked, son. You are so cooked, and so many of the armies that are going to be coming soon have that problem, right? Like even EC, you used to have 3 Demon Princes, now they have 2. Yeah, like Worldies don't have any fly.
But really,
everything's foot. So like basically, there are some armies that that combat pressure can give them issue, but AdMech are one of those armies. They can win a game without killing a model. That is something I've done annoyingly consistently, and they'll deny your primary at the same time. So the whole theory is they lock down a section of the board. They hold the 10s for the game, and then they remove you off your expansion each time with one of their 1,000 units of trash. And at that point, you win the game by a small amount. Now, they were doing that before they killed you. Now they kill you. I need to really emphasize the killing bit. So I'm going to go to one little combo in Halo's Creed, right? I'm on Skitarii, but I'm going to one little combo on Halo's Creed. You can give them crit 5s, right? Harley told me about this one. So you can give them crit 5s. They have sustained 2. They have +1 AP, and let's say they're in range of a battle line unit, because that's when you're going to trade them out, and they have scout and they can advance. So yes, they have 30 attacks. So 60? No, more than that. 30 attacks, sustained 2, full rerolls, crit 5s. That is about 50 odd hits. AP 2. Like
that's
you're gonna kill 10 Marines with an 140 point unit. Which has stealth, and when you go and kill it back, has a feel no pain. Like
well,
not the Hellish Creed, but
it's mental, right?
It is very, very crazy.
Because the Rust Stalkers were already a very solid combat unit. Now you've got the Infiltrators as well. You've essentially they're quick. They've got their invuns, and they blend. There's a vicious list with those.
So, but I will say, I like the fact that AdMech have some love, right? I always love love because it means I have a reason to go back onto them. However, I'm going to say this is viciously short-sighted, in my opinion, right? If obviously AdMech aren't an army that are very commonly seen, so I don't know. You're not going to see everyone jumping onto AdMech, right? And people that do have the models to jump onto AdMech and don't really want to hobby it up, all up and stuff, they're going to do well with them, right? They're going to do well with them. But like, I don't think. I think this is too much. This is too much. Like they were doing bits on their own, And when the meta adjusts around them, so that they become more like less of a problem. So, like say for instance, Eldar, Eldar have always been able to deal with. What they do, if Blood Angels stop crippling a thing because you've got Templar builds coming over and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
And suddenly all the fly leaves. As soon as all the flying combat pressure leaves the meta, AdMech just go wild. So they didn't need to buff them this hard. I'm not unhappy that they did, but they shouldn't have, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was very unnecessary.
I think they've really juiced them up, haven't they? And it's going to be... They've been trying to make AdMech good for what has felt like a long time. And the reality has been that AdMech has always been good. It is just a specialist army with a specialised way of playing. But this feels like it might just be pushing over into this is just very, very strong, straight up.
They're very meta-defined as well around them. Like everything, the meta around them define whether they're good or not. But yeah, that's my hot take on AdMech. So.
100%. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think for GSC, we'll take it to a GSC place. My take on this is that I've got a sinking feeling that it's going to end up just still being Host of Ascension, but it's less good in not very long's time, because what they've done is they've nerfed Host in certain ways, although sort of buffed it in other ways as well. And some of those nerfs are brutal. The Primus nerf is absolutely brutal. The nerf to Primed and Readied, so your crit 5s is 2 CP. Now that's pretty brutal. But they've also given Return to Shadows, you just pull something up at the end of the fight phase, which actually, in some ways, is more flexible. You've got more control over where you put things, where you put bricks. That's quite nice. That's actually quite a good use of it. It does shut off their old trick people and get shot and run away thing, but it's still pretty solid. But then what they've done is they've buffed Xenocreed and Biosanctic a little bit and given them some points drops on stuff. They've given Xenocreed a sort of cute rapid ingress 6-inch thing that is quite fun. But my worry is those two detachments have been for a while just struggling into getting pasted by quick, nasty, blendy things. And I'm a little bit worried that for GSC in general, if their goal was nerf Host, bring the others up, I feel like you're going to end up with like Host is probably still quite good, but just not that good, and then the others may not quite get there. We'll see. I would love it to turn out that Bio or Xenocreed are back, but I think it's quite a hit. Quite a hit. What do you think, Charles?
I think Biosantic is there. I was really hoping for Claw to get good, Outlander Claw.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the things that make Host good make Xenocreed good.
Yes.
So now that they're, the bikes and the buggies got hit.
Yeah.
So I don't think Outlander's going to be it, but I think Metamorph's dropping points. 10-man Metamorph.
That's really nice. Yeah, the Metamorph's at 140 is spicy.
That was good to start with.
Yeah. I think Bio is one of those where it's like, in a meta where it can be the one applying the pressure, I think it's solid. I just think potentially quite a lot of the things out there at the minute will certainly be running at Bio. But it'll be interesting, yeah. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised with it when I go back to it, and maybe Knights going away mean I can use a Patriarch and stuff, but it just, because things like the Ridge Runners are non-negotiables, you're already eating a tiny points rise before you even do the other things. Yeah. We have had a few comments in the chat about Challenger cards, and it is worth pointing out that has wildly changed the landscape. Like, it's just, every time now I go to sort of just not bother about some primary, I need to slap myself and remember that it matters again, right? Whenever you have one of those turns where you're like, have it, be over there, it's fine. I'm going to get two Challenger cards in a minute. It doesn't matter. Now you have to be like, oh no, that really matters. I will lose by 5 if I don't sort that shit out. Like, it's a big old change. Are we happy with that, guys? Are we happy with the Challenger cards?
Jubilant,
no,
jubilant change.
Oh, Charles,
incredible.
Interesting. Fight, boys, fight.
My armies are exclusively, with the exception of Knights, movement jank shenanigans, which really like going second and losing early games of primary and just farming Challenger cards. It was. I understand why they got. I'm actually happy for they've gone. Is an improvement to the state of the game. However, I do not get the sick joy anymore of going. I'm playing Host of Ascension into Knights, which is already a good matchup for Host. I've taken Brilliant down to
I'm going to get Challenger
I'm
cards.
getting challenges for 4 turns, and then I'm scoring 50 points of secondaries or like 40 points of secondaries. And my theory, you can score 120 points if you do that.
Yeah,
good,
quite
psycho.
good. So Ed, make the case for being happy they got, mate.
oh, I like using an army that I can use fixed secondaries and like score lots of points early game with challenge cards. Use a better army. Use a better army.
Let me rephrase that argument there. Deploy first, go first, play Admech.
Yeah. Skill,
Easy.
mate. Skill.
Easy.
Hit them
But yeah,
sorted.
I think challenge cards going is obviously a very good thing. I don't think many people are going to disagree with us with that. I think Charles is looking at it from a perspective from a faction choice, and he likes them. He just liked them, right? It's fair.
I hate them. I left so many games with them.
There you go. He liked them when he was using them to his advantage, which is fair. But like I think generally speaking, these are not going to be missed. They were swinging a miss from our GW pals. They tried something different. We respect it. Try to keep it interesting, cool. But I'm very glad they're gone.
I think I actually will miss it. I think I loved someone playing like a perfect turn and then just getting done by full back shoot and charge on like a Primarch. It's just really funny. I'm sorry. Like you're at like a WTC level game and the guy's sweating and he's worked out X, Y, Z, and you're like, lol, I get that when you lose. It doesn't matter. Like it's just so funny.
You've just reminded me. James was playing a game against a NAS. Now I can't remember the result of the game of this game. But from what I'm about to say, I'm going to presume that NAS might have edged it. So you got a challenger card, right? Fine. Yeah. A Rogal Dorn was set up quite far away. Well, not quite far away. I could see in the middle of the board, couldn't see anything too important. He draws the move an extra d6 inches. So then I proceed to see a Rogal Dorn move 19 inches, get a line on something, and he was like, "Well, that's pretty damning, isn't it?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was just like, when I saw it, I was like, if I was James, I'd be livid, absolutely livid.
Yeah, it's just
it'd be funny. It'd be funny, but
it's just. I think in a few months of being way too serious about 40k, what I liked about them was that you couldn't really take them seriously because it was just you just get some points because you're behind, or you just get some random powerful buff or whatever. Like it was absolutely bonkers. Tenor in the chat says, I think challenger cards were inherently flawed at the competitive level, but I did really appreciate the secondary rules sort of role they played where every game of X primary. Yeah, I think they offered different tempos in the game. They were silly in many ways, but I'd say it's just going to be weird going back to that kind of,
I'll tell you what,
the primary on offer is what you got. Go on then, Charles.
I can't go Valor Strike Lance, go 33 inches with a knight and then shoot something. I'm the only person that's sad about that.
Yeah, it does sound.
But just imagine your opponent's face if you did that.
It'd be like this.
Are you sure? Can you show me in the rules? Like, yes, I can.
Let me pull out my whiteboard. Here's how we've done it.
Yeah, I think if you did that to me,
you're done.
Yeah, I think if you did that to me, I'd gain a third chin. I think that's what I would recoil so much in on myself that my chin would gain another back. You know what I mean? That is what would happen.
Amazing. Right, Charles, I think it is actually your turn for a take, mate. We had a little segue around challenger cards there. But...
Ooh. World Eaters. They're
right.
They're a menace. They were already strong. Big fan of World Eaters. They got better.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't think the 8-bound. Everybody's like, oh, it's Codex 8-bound again. It's not. I don't think they're that good. Exhorted 8-bound, nice little glow up. I maybe put a unit in now.
I think one or two mini missiles feels like you're not mugging yourself now.
Yeah,
right?
I'm definitely taking at least three. Oh, I'm taking 3 slaughter bounds, whether they have friends or not.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because them going to strength 10 now means a strength 12, which means got a las cannon on a stick. Bonk.
Yeah. Still it's nice to have a las cannon on a stick. Yeah.
But if you can just send them with glaive, and they're really great little skirmish pieces. Big fan of them. 20-man Zerks, still phenomenal. Forge Fiends, I'd stopped running Forge Fiends a while ago, so that didn't actually affect me. They were always going to be a problem, and now we've seen a fair few of their Predators, T-Sons, get nerfed. So I think they are in a very, very good spot, and they do answer some of the big bads in the meta at the moment. They beat Chaos Knights, they beat Imperial Knights, and they can beat vehicle-heavy lists. They also will give a fair crack at blending Admech, which is...
Oh, they'll run into it and start swinging, won't they?
Yeah, but now the Admech can kill you, and that's the worry.
Yeah, the Admech is going to watch that for things like the Blood Surge, I guess. It's interesting. I think the excitement around World Eaters pre-slate was palpable. right? You could tell there were a lot of people sounding them out, a lot of people playing them, a lot of people starting to say "My World Eaters" a few times in the hope that people would believe them, that kind of thing. You know, people, if you say "My World Eaters" a couple of times, people are like, "Oh, he plays World Eaters. He's called them his World Eaters. He must play World Eaters." That's absolutely legit. That's how that works. And
screen before the slate, just
exactly.
player.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think they look in a good spot. And I wouldn't have said from based on their WTC and based on the games I was seeing that was an army that needed a buff per se. And it didn't pay for it really. Like a little tap on Forge Fiends. Was that it?
Yeah.
Was that what? That's fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite a scary place for the old World Eaters. Let's pop it over to Ben. Let's have a take so hot that it could melt steel beams. Ben,
Fulgrim.
Yes.
Was great already.
Yeah, you're right.
He's only got better.
Oh yes,
He can walk through walls.
He can. Are there any caveats to that, Ben? Are there any caveats to that?
Only if they're 4 inches or less.
Oh, okay.
I've got a question.
Just to clarify, that means none of the walls on UKTC.
That
right?
means don't forget about those little triangle pieces.
Oh, the little triangles that he was already walking over. Okay,
yeah,
so those.
Yeah, don't forget them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he still on your nan's dinner plate?
He is still.
He is still licking it off the plate.
He absolutely is.
As only a Lord of Excess can. He's having a great time.
They tried.
Did they try though, Ben? Did they try?
It feels like a token. Here, have this. You're still not going to use him, but now you're going to have a little conversation with yourself and be like, "Is he good?
Is he good?"
What, like,
30 points off him? 30 points off him as well?
25, I think, wasn't it? He was 365 down to 340. So, I think the real interesting one is Flawless Blades gaining an attack.
Yeah.
Yes, that is quite good, right?
I think it starts a conversation. I think
it starts a conversation.
I'm judging by the 6++ EC WhatsApp that keeps going off in the back,
which has piped up. Hasn't
it has piped up, and there is a genuine conversation. I think there with should we take a unit of Flawless Blades now? Is one potentially an app?
Oh wow! Oh, he's frozen.
That's not a good looking spot, is it?
That's great for an Emperor's Children.
That's not his best spot.
That's really good.
I'm screenshotting that.
Oh, bless him. He was talking real sense there as well. You know? He was doing.
That's what happened. The dog's gone. Nah.
He was doing a good time there. Oh no, wrong way. Oh, there he is. Oh, poor Ben. Anyway, I'm sure Ben will be back at some point. But no, he is back. Look, he's back. Hello, Ben.
Proper dial up with the loading back in.
Can he hear us?
I'm not sure. Can he hear us, Ben?
Can you hear us?
Ed, I can hear you.
Jubilant. Well,
Tom and Charles are still frozen. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's all right.
That was Slanesh punishing me for saying Flawless Blades are a conversation piece.
Yeah. Tenorest says that's what happens when you have real opinions on the Hot Take show. Doesn't like it.
Well, you did freeze in a very
Yeah, don't worry. We'll send you the photo.
Delightful.
Don't you worry. Yeah, we'll send you the photo. So I think whilst Ben recovers from his trip to the warp, Ed, if you want to take the lead on your next one.
Oh yeah, sure. So the next one I want to cover is Sisters. So Sisters actually have had something. And it's been something. So Retributors, when they are now empowered, can have both their abilities active, which is fun, as well as points drops on them and Celestine. So I think Sisters are going to be in an interesting spot in the coming tidings because you're going to have a lot of combat in the meta, and Sisters obviously have that very real threat for anti-combat. So I think Sisters won't be taking them out by storm by any means. But they have had a little bit of a glow up. There's also a few other points changes that are interesting, as I'm looking at it right now. So Retribution Squad's come down, Celestine, sure. Imagifiers come down, interesting. And Astrid, Thurger, and I'm not going to pronounce.
Now I don't know who they are. I'll be honest.
You know what? I actually do know who they are. I don't know the lore on them because they're not.
Astrid Thurger, she's the Hospitalia with the fancy sword, isn't she?
That's the one.
Oh, there we go. Nailed it.
So yeah, she's.
Is that a significant drop?
No. Don't know. We'll find out. Don't know.
So the hot take here is that something's happened to Sisters. Exactly what remains to be seen.
The Retributors the biggest talking point there.
Yeah, Retributors are interesting now. Like they've come down 10 points. That's quite a lot. Like, you know, it's now 105 points for a 4 multi-melter unit, which has access to the miracle dice. And obviously all the strats that are available in the various attachments that you have as well. So they're seen coming down to 150 makes for a genuine talking point. So I think, you know, I just think that the sisters are going to be interesting because I think the meta of going around them might help them a little bit. Obviously, they still get ruined by Admech, so violently ruined by Admech, but we'll ignore that. We'll ignore that and move on with our lives.
Yeah, I feel like they're one where you might see some specialists dig about and have a semi decent time, but we're not talking going up the top of the game, right?
Yeah, there'll be a few 4-1ers, and they'll be like, "I went 4-1 at the LGT," and I'm like, "Yeah, good job, bro."
Defeated though. I think sisters have always been good, but dependent on the meta, and I think the retro changes is probably enough with like because I've played into it a few times with when they put the lady in that gives lethal hits. I think it's a Palatine. And now that they've got reroll 1s to hit and wound and +1 to hit and wound, I think, or just +1 to hit or something like that. I can't remember what they're exactly.
+1 to wound when they're empowered. So I think it's like basically lose a model and they get that. But like,
no, the empowered is if they're shooting at something that's killed a unit in your army.
Oh, sure.
Which is anything now, which is quite which is it's fairly easy to settle when you assist an army like that. I think they can be very matchup and meta dependent, like I'd said. But I think we'll see a few people go 5-0 with them.
Yeah, I also think you're going to see some Bringers of Flame list come back. Is you're going to have like a multi-metal squad with lethal and sustained again. It's going to be great.
Val and the Gal pals kicking knights across the table.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's a very real chance that that'll be a thing. But it could be a good teams list, to be fair. It's like a Melter Skew Sisters. Could be interesting. That's my hot take on Sisters, which is super lukewarm.
Yeah, we've burned through a lot of our hottest takes already.
Yeah.
Is Tau still being rubbish a hot take?
You know what? You know what? I am now obviously a Tau main, as with most.
Okay, yeah.
I've recently decided I was one. So therefore I am. They might have been interesting.
Ready to go.
God, he's actually a Tau main. Kicking.
Shun him!
So they actually had.
But they're there.
The first thing is a Riptide's big gun now wounds a Rhino on 3s. Now the Tau mains are very excited about this. They very much like it. And all that, and you know that is fun for them. The points drops, you have points drops on the broadsides. That's pretty good. You've got 30 points drop on the 3-man. So it's still more expensive to take the 3-man, which is sad.
Oh, that's interesting. I was watching people run the solo ones more recently.
Yeah, it's like effectively they were 90, 180, 300, right? That's what they were originally. But now they're like 80, 70, 270. So it's just, I don't really get like there's not really a reason to make them ridiculously more expensive in 3s. I mean, apart from the fact that you have the big unit for shooting. But I don't know. I think it feels quite egregiously expensive for 3-mans. Farsight's come down by 10. That's fun. Fire Knife Battlesuits have come down by 10. Sunforge Battlesuits have come down by 10. Firesight teams have come down by 10. That means they've got a nice. They're definitely guide people. So that's a nice little guide piece. Crew have all stayed the same because they've already nerfed them. And
the crew.
The big talking point for the Tau, right, is the fact that they're going to have the Riptides are becoming out strength 10, which is obviously a big point for them to be able to do stuff. They had their army faction change a while ago, like the rewrite, so that's gonna be fun as well.
Yeah.
They're gonna sit pretty much the same of where they are. They'll kill
That's
a Rhino.
kind of what I feel. It's like the Riptide might kill a Rhino. Now I played against them this morning to see how they were. 2 Riptides killed 2 individual pure strains when they fight.
Yeah. It's the fact.
Specialists will do well with them. Everybody else will suck. Like it's
like the Ion Accelerator. It's like it's got strength 10. It's gone from strength 8 to overcharge 9 to 9 to overcharge 10, which is cool. I will give them that.
Yeah, and you're like, but there's stuff out there re-rolling all its hits with sustained and lethal 5s. They don't give a shit what strength their weapon is. It just makes you dead. And you're like, I've gone up 1 increment on the scale that occasionally has some bearing.
Yeah, who would ever have a unit that sustain and lethal 5s and shoots? That would be egregious, wouldn't it?
You'd be a monster.
Only allowed if you do it in melee.
That's true. Melee, you're allowed. Melee, you are actively allowed. But with a unit of aggressors with shooting, apparently that's too much. But we'll ignore that. We'll move on. But yeah, I think the Tower look like they're going to be very similar.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'll move it to Ben. Ben, recently returned from the war. What's your latest hot take, son?
Oh, Drukhari, great, right? Kronos, 2 Kronos for 85
2
points.
Kronos for 85 points. I tell you, that made me feel something, Ben. To be fair,
it made me feel something.
It's a lot. It's a lot of wounds and the feel no pain for
It is.
85 points. It's really annoying.
It is
It's a strange thing to hand out
It's
when
a
there's
weird
obviously a book
decision.
on the horizon, and you're
Yeah.
like, "We'll make them run at 6 Kronos in the meantime because that seems like a good thing."
Because why not? Why not, right? But yeah, I don't know. Like we've kind of stood still again. I think we're fine. We're fine. It's a really boring take, but it's okay.
Yeah, I played a few games with literally all coven
Yeah.
lists that I was trying out ahead of WTC. I was like, what if it was just all coven? And it wasn't good, but it was fun. And that list has gone down points. So, I'm delighted.
I think we'll have a good end of Index, right? Like, it feels like we'll be okay for...
They're just in a perfectly reasonable spot. I think,
that's
as we know, Drukhari players' problems are really just beginning in many ways as they try and figure out what they do next. That's the really interesting bit. But in the meantime, 6 Kronos. It's cheap.
6 Kronos
Enjoy it.
is very cheap.
You will certainly not regret buying 6 Kronos. Wonderful. Moving it over to Charles. Charles, what's the take?
There's a big green elephant in the room that I think we need to talk about.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
No, it's not you, Ed. Don't look for it.
No,
it's not in your house. You're okay.
All I'm saying is Death Dreads are back. Like, and what's the name of when they roll for the enhancement?
Dread Mob.
Dread Mob back on the table.
Dread Mob is.
Let's ignore Gaz's buff. Let's ignore Commando's buff.
Yeah, we're not going to
Dread Mob.
That Gaz in a vehicle thing. That is for chumps. People are sleeping on the real change, right?
Dread Mob is back in a big. No, Orcs got a huge glow up. They got a lot of love in this data slate. I think they are now very good. At least on paper, they are looking very good.
Yeah.
So for the unaware, I'll run through the notes that my Orc player very excitedly wrote down for me. So I can't say how good the English is going to be, but I can. So Gaz can now lead boys. And
he can.
Which is hilarious because you can now put Gaz with 20 boys and use a weird boy and deploy him in your opponent's face turn 1, which I think is hilarious. Just bang
that is very funny.
The game.
That is very funny.
Doing mortals like tank shock on the charge for free is kind of fun. Commandos get to combat squad. This is, I think, one of the biggest.
That's actually a really good change.
That is phenomenal for them. They were already a very good utility piece in squads of 5, in a squad of 10. Now 2 squads of 5. It's more scoring. It's more screening. It's great. The kill rigs and hunter rigs aren't vehicles anymore, which is it's kind of nice as a quality of change, I think. Bikers dropped some points. Snickrot dropped 20 points, which is obscene. He was just good. Flashkit and Looters both dropped points, so Looters are now back to the points that they were at before.
They've been forgiven for more DACA.
Yes. However, go put them in Dread Mob and they get funny.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
The Beast Boss went up, which is fair because he was a little bit silly. Mozrog dropped. War Boss went up. Meganobs dropped 5 points per model, which is kind of like Bully Boys gets a little bit interesting again. Killer Cans obviously getting the huge buff. I'm going to keep coming back to them because they're my favourite model in the Orc range.
As I say, the Orcs, it's the little.
And then like a few of the characters drop some points as well. So they seem to be coming back down from the more DACA things, and they've actually looked at making other detachments more viable. I think on the new UKTC boards, 18 Killer Cans is probably quite fun.
Okay.
I don't know how good it is, but it's quite fun. I think you can do some nasty things if, like, with the Speed Freaks list with 18 Deathcopters and all the bikes. Deploy first, go first with your new commandos.
With your commandos.
Win the game, right? It's a simple philosophy for 40k. Believe you're going to go first because you're wrong. It will happen.
Ed was going to disagree with you, and then you said that, and he was like, "Oh, spirit."
I'm
vibing that so hard, I'm going to let it slide. I saw it go all the way through his eyes. He was like, "Oh, he said deploy first, go first." I could never hate against that.
I could never be against that theory. Just win 2 roll-offs and win the game. To do that's fine. The Beast Boss didn't go up. He stayed the same, by the way. I just had it open. That's the reason.
Well, the notes I have here, Beast Boss plus 30, and I was like, ooh, that's a bit harsh, but...
What? No, so Beast Boss went...
So I got Beast Boss on Squigasaur dropping points.
Yeah, dropped 20.
Yeah, and the normal Beast Boss going up, but...
Nah, it's very same. Very
All
same.
players can't read.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
Gaz in different units is pretty scary, right?
Yep.
Gaz
Yeah,
in
and a
that way
mech.
is pretty scary. And a mech, exactly.
Yeah, let's
Some
go.
pretty
Let's move through
interesting
models.
combinations with there. But obviously, as Charles has correctly alluded to, it is the Death Dread with its 8 wounds and its 6 up inland that is now poised to take over this game.
And killer can.
And killer cans, because it's going to do some mortal wounds on the way in.
Yeah, that 120-point Death Dread is going to be absolutely incredible.
It's just
absolutely.
bring back the dread mob and just 6d3 blast rocket launchers with sustained hits.
I do think that this is is it enough to buff them? No. To be blunt, it's just not. All they've done is correct the issues that, the Dakas had foreseen, and they haven't really given them any meaningful. Like the buffs to Gaz is nice, right? It's nice.
Yeah.
It gives him real play to him being boys and for the crits, sustained lethal 5s, hitting on 2s, +1 to hit and wound, all that sort of good stuff. When I say out loud, that actually sounds a lot better, actually. But anyway. But I still think it suffers from the same problems. So yeah, I do like the fact that they've brought down the more beast bossy things. I'm very sad that they didn't bring down Squig Hog Boys.
Yeah, me too. I'd like Squig Hog Boys to get some love. Maybe they could let them jump over smaller than 4-inch buildings like they did Fulgrim. Maybe that would help them out.
Huge change.
Well, legitimately, they could be 135. They could drop 15 points, and it still wouldn't be spammable and good. Legitimately, like you could just go.
Sure.
I'll make them 135, 270 for 6 mans, and it still wouldn't be egregious. I think that's if you're going to bring down Mosgrod and this Beast Boss on Squigosaur, they've got such an opportunity there to lean people into the Hunter, detachment and stuff, and be like, come on, here's a carrot, here's a carrot, here's a carrot. But they didn't give anyone any incentive to. But I think it's a cool little slate for the Orcs. It gives some bits.
Oh yeah,
bits, but interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we've covered almost all of the armies. I think one take I had, which I was struck by, so is that I think that the little adjustment they made to Hearthband, the Votann detachment, I appreciate. I legitimately think this might be the best Votann detachment for UKTC, because I just think UKTC loves a 6-inch deep strike and some good melee, and that detachment has had its output boost quite nicely with changes to the stratagem and to the detachment rule. So we'll see whether that's actually true, and I will obviously take it to our invitational next week and go 1-2, and then I'll get that out of my system, and we can put that to bed. But right now, I feel my brain feels happier thinking through that as a list than it did with Needguard or with the Delve one on UKTC, but I need to play more games with Delve. Votann, I think, still feel like they're going into a meta that is primed to just absolutely roll them a lot of the time at the moment. I don't know how others feel. A little bit apprehensive for Votann's chances in this new environment. Still, it feels a bit fair and square really in this meta. But we'll see how it gets on.
Stable is the word, isn't it? Stable.
Yeah.
I've got 2 factions that will not take long.
Go on then, Ed.
So I don't want to do this faction because it's one of my.
I know who he's going to talk about.
I know who it's going to be.
It's my least favourite faction in the world, but it will not take long. Necrons. Sorry, I had to say that word out loud. So it's 2 points drops. Triad Praetorians. Cool, whatever they are, sweet. I'm joking. They did need a points drop a while ago, to be fair. They weren't the best, so they've had a points drop. Silent King comes down 20 points, but he loses Ignore Mobs. So this is obviously a big difference for a lot of the lists that have been run. Like
it's quite a big deal, right?
Yeah, suddenly Death Guard are a real army, which is interesting. And you've got DDAs now actually suffering from stealth and Star Shatter and shit like that. So I think that's actually a hefty.
That might be quite impactful, yeah.
It's quite impactful. The issue
DDAs are not a lot of shots to start missing shots, are they?
Exactly. They need to be 2-stick, 2-sword. That's what.
Yeah.
But the big issue, the big issue I've got here is the Necron brick hasn't been touched.
Yeah, because it's not a problem.
Shush! It's not the fact that it's a problem. Don't look at it from a balanced game perspective. Think of fun. Carl.
18 raids, 40 warriors, Ed. That is fun.
It's not.
You get to play all of the Warhammer. You get to roll
terrible.
all of the dice. But actually,
it's not fair at all.
Because it hasn't been touched. But on UKTC, it has been. because the clarification about not being able to double stack activations. So if I shoot a warrior brick now, they cannot Ghost Arc and Reanimate Strap. Can't do it.
On 2 different activations, they can, though, right?
On 2 different activations. Shoot them once, let them do 1 res, shoot them again and wipe the squad. Sorted.
Boom.
I think, I guess it helps a little bit.
No, but like...
But like, also, I don't think that's actually how the rules are intended.
I think
anyway.
everybody...
But that's a separate thing.
Yeah, but that's how UKT have ruled it, so that's how it gets played.
I know, but I don't know last.
The thing with it is, like, everybody's already figured out how to play against 20 warriors. And if they haven't figured it out...
I mean, whoever plays Matt Bell never seems to have figured it out. They end up dead every time.
It's not like they end up dead. I actually think, Giles, in my opinion, it's actually the opposite issue. It's not that people haven't figured out how to play Necron Warriors. It's the fact that there's not loads of people using Necron Warriors very well. Like that's the reason. Like if you play against someone who's very good on Warriors, and they can just make it so you can't do much about it. Like they genuinely can. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not out of the realm of difficult for them to do. That's the big issue here, right? Yeah. Like and that's where I'm at with the Necron Warrior brick, because yes, it is egregious. It's horrific. I just don't like it. It's not even the fact that it's monstrously broken. There are ways to beat it. There are ways to get around it. There are ways to deal with it. But it's just so crap to play against. Like it's like I think this game is meant to be fun, and it is just so anti-fun. I cannot get behind that not getting nerfed. Oricon, go up 20 points. 20-man warrior brick, go up 40 points. Nerf it to the sun, get it out of the meta. Let people take Star Shower and table me instead. I'd rather that be the case. It's fine. You know what I mean? Broken Necrons isn't a problem. Broken warriors, horrible.
That's fair. I am surprised, given the evidence has been abundant for months. So from like a competitive innovation Schoonhammer standpoint, like I have written up an Awakened Warrior break list every week for 3 months. Like there has always been.
I'm so sorry.
An Awakened Warrior list doing well, and I have to find new words. Ed, I have to go. This guy sure did put 20 warriors in the middle of the board.
Put on objectives and he didn't die.
This guy
I get it. It's not a stat check.
You gotta have a plan for the 20 warriors, or you just lose.
Yeah, I would like to point out that Ed just accused himself of thinking the game is to be played for fun. And
I love that he's done that, and I think that's
Ed,
fine.
would you like to go back to your Admech list? Can we revisit that?
Also, that hasn't survived 4 slates. That's just
300 Vanguard.
Just coming. Like, let's be reasonable.
5
like,
wide stuff, 5 up inland, all the rest of it.
Yeah,
Here's
but that's different.
Vanguard,
they don't come back.
They don't come. You've already got 300 of them.
Not 300, 130. But anyway,
amazing.
The thing is, it's not about being fun. It's about not having Necron Warriors res. That's the main thing in my life. You know?
But yeah, mechanics should be out of the game.
They do. They've been given a lot of love this edition. Necrons. They've always been treated very well.
They need to be hunted next edition, don't they? I think that's going to be what's going to happen. But I'm just surprised that brick survived a few days late. But anyway, we'll move on to the next.
I'm totally with you. What was the other thing you had on your agenda? Because I think we're on our way down through the armies. I saw Custodes got a few drops. Does that matter? I don't think that matters. I don't feel like that matters.
Not massive. Custode Guard come down again. So now they are quite points efficient for their unit cost, right? Like I think that's interesting. A 10-man sister squads have come down. Don't know if you ever want to do that, but they have come down. So the shield captain on foot's come down. The land raiders come down. We're getting the true.
I think I know what my hot take for Custodes is. My hot take is that they should be allowed to have 1 10 brick of something. I don't think they should be. I don't think you should let them have all of them. No. But I think they should be allowed to have 1.
I agree.
I think that would actually. I think that would be quite nice for them. We know that more than that cannot be trusted, but I think 1 would be all right. I think 1 would be fine.
I think 1 as long as it's.
It'd be pretty funny into that warrior Brit, wouldn't it? I think that'd be pretty nice.
If they could have 1 10.
I'll support anything that stops the warrior brick.
10 grand out Paladins. Done.
For just £5 a month, we
get him in banisters and hit somebody with sustained hits. It'll be fine. I promise.
But I think the 10-man would be nice, right?
Yeah, I don't think that would do them any harm. I think it'd be quite fun if they could take 1. St. Mikhail says it wouldn't be good like it was before. That's exactly why I'm saying they can have it, so I can kill it. I think I'm pretty relaxed about it.
Yeah, they can't trade as well.
I don't know. They kind of got...
I don't know where the conversation's going.
Custodians are such a funny one because it's like they wrote them a brutal index, and then they were like, "Oh, that was quite a lot." So what we'll do for the book is just they won't be able to do any of that.
Yeah, let's take away all of it.
And their identity will be not being allowed to do all of the things that made them work in the index. Like, not just one of them. We're going to take it all away and say your identity is now getting by without all this stuff. Have fun.
Yeah, and then we go to Christmas and we go big stompy robots.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Here's
some dreadnoughts, and then what if every unit you had could just kill God in a 1-on-1? Tried that.
Yeah,
and that's about it.
No, Tom, I would like to. If you think that one 10-man Warden Brick would do it, I'm happy to throw down a TTS game against you where I will run Custodians as one 10-man Warden Brick.
Completely acceptable.
And we'll see how it goes.
I'm on board. I think that's absolutely fine.
I'm going to roll.
As long as
boy first go first.
Yeah. First drop, first head. Stay there, you custodian nerd. Stay. Are you move blocking me again, Ed? Yes.
That's damn right.
Yes.
You're
To
still
industry.
You're still on foot, so I'm still in the way. That's how it works.
Yeah, there were two little marshals at the back of the table with like a few glasses of champagne, just chinking, being like, "To industry."
You stay there.
Big monocle.
I think Admech talking with the old-timey American voice would be great, actually.
Or like proper fop voice. Like, excuse me, boy, I'm out of port. So they did that sort of stuff.
Absolutely reserved for God.
The sort of people that would never take a doggy bag home.
I knew that was coming. You absolute bastard. That's fine. That's okay. I'll accept that.
Yes.
We're running out of armies, but Imperial agents, they're not coming through. Nothing there.
Grey Knights, nothing.
Grey Knights, nothing. Go on,
Black
Ed.
Templars, nothing.
Okay.
But to be fair, I'll cover Grey Knights briefly on what they're going to be good in
the
meta.
Go on.
They're going to be good in the meta. Anyway, next we go. Black Templars. Now, Grey Knights are going to be very cool. They've got the Storm Raven list going round. We've got Warpbane Task Force video out. We've got a Librarian video out that everyone totally agrees with and it's not contentious at all. Go and watch those and get yourself some context.
People love our Grey Knights content. I'm surprised at the patience and nuance of our Grey Knight community. I didn't realise quite how kind and thoughtful they were going to be.
I didn't know people watched it, to be honest.
No, Look, A, you watched it. B, you really don't like it. These are both surprises to me.
Yeah, well, they like it. It's just when Harley's video came out. They were like, "That's not how Storm Raven moves." I'm like, no,
Harley needs to get his rules right, you know. Gosh.
Yeah, stupid, sexy Harley. Yeah, so Grey Knight's looking interesting. Go watch the videos on that, and that'll be fun. Then we've got Black Templars, same, very stable. You're gonna have
they're just settling in, aren't they?
They're settling in. I think they're gonna be good. Nothing crazy. What else have we got? Blood Angels. They've had a little bit of a buff.
I think they've had someone locked in a room trying to work out how to make people buy a sanguinary card for like the last year, and they've like drip fed all his ideas, so it never works. And then they just keep him in there, basically.
Yeah,
does this get it done?
Depends where the meta goes. I think if the meta goes to a more horde, like if we do start seeing lots of orcs back, we see because it's a good answer to world eaters. The 6 Sangard can kill 20 berserks. Or berserkers, Votann. So I think they're placed to be in a good situation, and fast jump pack melee is always generally okay, especially on the boards that allow for aggressive staging, which some of the UKTC boards do. They have access to the regular marine shooting if they want it, so they can just go, this list could do with a predator, or it needs here's a repulsor or whatever, right? So I think they were never bad, and I think like we've seen them do well. But the meta just wasn't in their area, and now if the meta's swinging back towards where they like to play, I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah, I think the only thing is, I think apparently you get an extra attack on the lance now, which Charlie Watts has just said. Great last name, by the way. And so I think that if that's the case, then the points hike might be good. I'm at the point that the unit might be good, but I just think the points hike is a lot, in my opinion. I don't get wrong. I mean, the fact that it's 260 points for 26 Sandguard is still a lot, right? Like, I think there's an argument for this if you're going for the full skew of all the jump pack, but Blood Angels got away really lightly here. Got away really lightly. Like they were doing bits. They were doing bits.
Yeah, pretty powerful army, right?
Yeah, very powerful army, and I think the Death Company is, and also if the meta evolves into Admech, Emperor's Children, what else is there?
World Eaters,
the Death Guard, World Eaters, all that sort of stuff. Blood Angels have a very real shout, right? Like they can absolutely decimate Admech if they really wish, with a certain type of list. And yeah, I think Blood Angels will definitely stick nicely. I think they'll have like 1 or 2 bad matchups, which you still will be able to express skill difference there, and just win and just take 6 Land Raiders as we've discussed. Never.
Do you want to sort of briefly comment on the Land Raiders situation, because they obviously buffed all the Land Raiders? Is that real?
Yeah, it's real.
It's real.
It's a thing. I think there is going to be a skew somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a skew somewhere. I have already written lists with 5 Land Raiders and 3 Redemptors. Because, why wouldn't I? But I'm not saying it's good, however. Guys, do not take this as a hot take from that perspective. It is not.
Someone clip it.
But we've seen Redeemers do really well in like the 2 to 3 margin in Grey Knights before. We've seen it.
That's true.
And that was. But that was, I think, pre-Warp Bane. So, now they've actually got the re-rolls as well. But obviously, we don't live in a world where Nemesis Dreadites are 180 points, right? So that's obviously a lot harder to do. But I think there's definitely a real world here where there's like some weird vehicle skew in a faction somewhere that's going to have like 2 or 3 Land Raiders. That's going to be really, really annoying. Because 220 points for the hull is really good. And if Eldar are out and people aren't using Eldar as much, or if they Eldar are in, they don't have the Fire Dragons as much because they're building for anti-combat instead, so they'll have more Banshees and Otarks and stuff. Then is it a world where you probably can just start running Land Raiders? Probably.
The new Salamanders detachment might have some play with it.
Yes, they do. I have a Redeemer in my new list.
Yes.
However, mine is not Forge Fathers. I'm going to disappoint everyone at LGT with that. It's going to be great.
Ed's going to go, what's the one that gets crits on 5s? He's just going to take that one. That's it. It's
Charles knows Ed so well. A couple of armies. I've remembered a couple of other hot takes worthy of comment. Right. CSM. Funny old place for CSM.
Yeah, sure.
Chaos Cults has been very, very powerful for a very long time. And I think it's taken a sort of cumulative 30 points rise in this slate. That's quite bananas.
Yeah, they can just change like one of the cults, the cultist.
That's what I mean.
It's
like it's nothing. Like it doesn't make any difference.
They are still going to just run.
That list is really legit. Like really
with challenger cards going as well. I think they just because they just dominate the board. The whole board.
The times I have beat it, challenger cards have been pretty pivotal in a lot of those games, and I think that thing is still an absolute monstrosity. If you compare how Host was being treated, I actually think they're more or less the same. They're both an infantry skew list with a 60-something win rate, and they've absolutely kneecapped Host. And then for Chaos Cults, they're like, oh yeah, Shifter Guardsman squad around, so I don't know when you go. Fine. I think
you weren't attached to the last 10 of your 120 guardsmen, were you? No.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's quite scary. I think. Honestly,
you know what needs hitting? Rogel Dawns.
Thank God they were.
Nerf guard.
No, I'm not happy. I'm not happy about the guard nerf.
I am exceptionally happy.
They deserve it. They just
because I'm a guard player, Ed.
Yeah, but I'm a Space Wolf player, and clearly I took the Space Wolf nerfs very well.
Yes. We didn't have a 10-minute segment of that. The guard changes are interesting. Like they drop points on Leontis and on Gaunt's Ghosts. Leontis dropped 20 points, and Gaunt's Ghosts dropped 10 points. They're now 100 points. They are actually good now, or better than they were before. They were always good. Uppy, downy, fight first, low knocks.
Gaunt's Ghosts always seemed kind of like an essential thing to have, and guard players were just like, nah, I'm just going to do without.
So you can do without them when you weren't taking Leontis to like really maximize their infiltrate to stop.
Oh, because you could redeploy with him. Yeah, I see.
But like when you take Leontis up, but now that he's dropped, it's fine. But annoyingly, both of the Dawn, Rogel Dawn, and the Rogel Dawn Commander both went up 10 points. I would sooner they just put the commander up 15 and didn't touch the regular Dawn, because the regular Dawn was only really being annoying when you slammed it with 3 commanders first anyway.
I've not seen the regular one out and about much.
Yeah, it's like... It's if we took a Dawn commander, gave it a better ability, but made it just worse.
Yeah.
Krieg Engineers have come down as well, Charles.
Yes, Krieg Engineers came down because they already got kneecaps. You need like type their ability now. So no, I think Guard is still in an absolutely fine place. I think there are very good Guard players that are doing horrible things with them, and there are a lot of other Guard players that are going to suffer for their success, basically. I think which is true of the faction for a long time. At least competitively, they've been a weird faction, and how accurate
they are in a very weird spot, and this feels like more of that for them, right? It's not. I don't think it's going to be an army of choice as such, and what a few people can squeeze out of them are going to be what everyone else is suffering for. I think a little bit for Guard.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have some. Yeah, I think Guard are going to be interesting, right? I think it's one of those. It's interesting. They're going to be very stable. They're going to be very similar.
Yeah, so. They have play into any meta in the game, so
they're pretty consistent in that way.
Yeah.
Ben, do you have any final hot takes, mate, as we start making our way towards the exit?
No, I did notice they've FAQ'd rechanged the get back into your flying transports, so it now only works wholly within 3. So
yes,
there was a minor worry. I think that people were going to be stringing your fire dragons all the way across the board, spending a CP and getting all the way back in to that wave serpent 20 inches away. Well, yes. I don't think that ever really came about.
No,
at least I didn't see it. To be honest, but I was ready to take advantage of it. But then people just don't walk into your reactive move range, and I'm like, oh, fuck me.
I was ready to do it with Asman, and then I was like, no,
it's bad. It's
That's why Asman got the points drops, because they nerfed him. Indirect
I was about to go. I submitted this for LGT. I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then I was like, no. And then on the way, I read the update. I was like, oh, I can't do it anyway. Sweet, it's fine. Cool. I'm glad I made the moral decision and didn't cheat. It's great,
Very well done, Ed. We're proud of you.
Yeah, and then Vic in the Discord was like, oh, he was using the trick. And then Tim Page had to be like, whoa, he wasn't doing it. Defend him.
Absolutely fucking was. I was doing it.
He wasn't re-embarking from 1,000 miles away, I swear. But yeah, we got also Dark Angels. We have actually covered Dark Angels. We have a lot of Dark Angels.
What happened with Dark Angels?
Loads. The Dark Shroud went down, and that's it. We don't have to discuss anything else. Apart from the Lion. The Lion.
What happened to the Lion?
Now gets 2 of his abilities, so you can now reroll 1 to Nerfy Downing, which is fun. So
I think the guy that's locked in the room fixing Sangard is also on permanent fix the Lion duty as well. Those are his 2 jobs, and he just every time he adds another rule onto them and then sends it on his way.
Yeah, it adds another rule on, removes 10 points. Adds another rule.
Yeah.
And eventually it'll be 100 points, be better than every Primarch, and then everyone will be like, take him. And then they'll nerf it to be 400 points, and then we'll be back to where we are.
Yeah. I think the only other one that I had thoughts on was Death Guard, who obviously they had their little points nudge, but otherwise the Death Guard, mate.
Oh yeah.
They've not had any rules change. I think some people thought they might.
They're still very good.
They're still very good, aren't they? Yeah, they're in a very strong spot still. I think the old Death Guard might benefit from being a bit out of the firing line now, not being the first thing everyone's thinking about and worrying about as well, because they are still just very strong, very powerful army.
They are.
And yeah, I think my to take not everyone will agree with is that I'm glad they didn't nerf the 6-inch D-Strike for the Death Shroud. I think that was it's just a big part of how that book has been set up to play, and I think if you mess with it, you can end up with something very lopsided and screwed, basically.
I think they were just waiting to see what the points changes did and how that actually affected the win rate before they hit any rules changes with them, which I can understand.
Yeah, I think the one thing they should have fixed with the 6-inch D-Strike, and I'm not sure, they might have done this already, now I might just be throwing smoke for no reason, but like, Joe, the one where you, Morty's hammer, you're in contagion range. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that I would have liked gone.
Does that work for the Death Shroud Deep Strike still? Then that should have gone. That should have categorically gone. There's no interaction there whatsoever. I don't mind the Death Shroud Deep Strike as long as there is some interaction in the fact that you have to put something in contagion range, which is what it was designed to do. Right? Yeah. That is okay. Because also, you can still play around it. You still have plans. What I don't like to be the case is like, I've picked a unit. I can just 6-inch deep strike from it. Like, that's a
I
stupid
saw
one.
somebody talk about like a change that instead of making it a 6-inch deep strike, just give them +2 to charge against contagion units. So then they have an 8-inch charge out of deep strike, but they still have to fit 9 inches away, or 7-inch charge out of deep strike. Sorry, still have to fit.
Oh, that's
9
interesting.
Away. And
Yeah,
it
that'd
makes
be
it a lot more viable once they're down. So
It
they're not
means you're a lot
something
less
else in there.
likely to have a sudden gap in a screen or something, which is what
Yeah,
Orks
it
end up having.
takes away a lot of the feel bads of pointed at that. I'm going to 6-inch now. There's nothing you can do about it. And it means that actually there's more viability in them once they've down and like tonked something on the head, and that's it.
Yeah.
That is true because they're going to yeet up the board, then, aren't they?
That's fair. Got anything else we need to cover? I don't know if there's anything else.
I'm gonna end on this note, which is Alex Fowler in the chat saying, scrolling through the Dataslate document past a completely empty Death Guard plays down to T-Suns being completely fucked. That's the note we'll leave. That's the note we'll leave it on.
He only has,
ladies and gentlemen,
blame, right?
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much, Charles. It's been lovely having you on. We'll
pleasure.
have you on again. It's been lots of fun. Do you want to just quickly promote your other business again before we finish?
Yeah, so Top of the Table Minis. You can find me on YouTube. Allegedly, I post on Instagram from time to time as well. But I try and stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually live Warhammer, sometimes TTS, sometimes Talking Heads. Come check me out. It's more of me just chatting shit, which is exactly what I want to do in my spare time.
That's what we're here for. Fantastic.
Thank
you very much once again. Yeah, it was a good time. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening in. Do hit that like and subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. We'll leave you there. We've been great. You've been great. We've had a good time. It's Saturday. Let's hope next time they put a slate out on the correct day. We'll see you all in the future. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm actually in charge. I have to end this.